Alright, hi guys, this is a vlog by Simbrah, me. Today I'm going to be talking about league server problems, Reginal playing mid for TSM, thoughts on Velkoz as a champion, and the current state of meta. So, getting right into it, the league servers have been having so many problems lately. It's just, they keep crashing, disabling ranked queues and stuff like that, and it's so frustrating as a player because I haven't been able to play solo queue in so long, at least like legitimately with no problems, and it really affects our team play too because we can't do ranked 5s that often, and when we do it lags and it's bad. So mainly the CSU team has only been doing scrims because we have the clutch tournament coming up in like 2 weeks, so getting prepared for that. So yeah, the league really needs to fix their servers. Next topic, Reginal playing mid for TSM. It's looking out like it's working for them. Bjergsen's having problems with his visa in Europe, so he had to sub in again for the Super Week this week, and right now they're 3-0 and they have one more game to go against, crap, I can't remember, it's like Coast, I think. So yeah, Reginald's playing well, and that's surprising. He was a good mid laner, but he wasn't the best, and he's keeping up with the current mid laners in NA, which is really good for them, and good for me as a TSM fan. Moving on to the next topic, Velkoz as a champion. My thoughts on him: he's actually strong, especially if you can get into the late game. His laning phase is really rough. All you have to do is farm through it, but he's so susceptible to ganks because he has no movement, he has no real escape or anything like that except for flash, and then he has his knockup, which is kind of hard to land, and you can only do it like once every like 10 seconds in the beginning. So it's not very reliable, and it's not a good way to get away from a gank. And so he's really weak during the laning phase, but once you transition team fights and you have someone to peel for you, he gets really strong because he has a lot of like slows, so the front line can't get on top of him. He has a lot of damage, just like AoE damage for team fights because of his W, his ult, his E, even his AoE, and then his Q has a way to hit 3 targets, so it's really strong. It'll be interesting how he plays in the LCS if people actually pick him up. It seems like if you pick him up quickly, he's going to be pretty strong. And then current state of the meta. This one's kind of like a big topic, but because I'll go over every lane and what I think about them. So top lane, it's so boring. It's a farm lane, and there's like really only 4 viable champions in the top lane. People starting to branch out a little bit more, but still, it's like Shyvana, Renekton, and Trundle, and it's stupid. It's not a fun lane. And then mid, there's actually a lot of viable mids, but it's a weird kind of lane now. Instead of it being that highly aggressive assassin meta that was in Season 3, it's become this like stay back, farm, have wave clear, poke, and protect your team with like Lulu and Orianna and then Gragas. It's kind of boring, and it's not really what I liked when I was a mid laner in Season 3. I liked being the assassin, the person that would go in and like get the kills as fast as possible, so like Zed and LeBlanc. LeBlanc's still viable, but I feel like she falls off though, and that's also the current meta, is going for late game, because like you can't do much with the early game pushes anymore. You can't do much with early dragons, you can't do much with the early game. It's all revolving around the late game, and so that's why LeBlanc, in my opinion, isn't as strong as she could be. But then like going to bot lane, it's very just like it's very like unique. The bot lane's like really branching out with like a Morgana support, and with the new item of Spell Thief, like, that's become more viable, so there's more AP supports that are becoming stronger. Like, I know the support for the CSU team, I Ride Keystone's been trying out Zig's support, and it's working out because his early game damage really stops any push that the bot lane can have, and it's a pretty strong option. AD carries are kind of bland though. Even though the CSU AD carry, Ubin Senpai, that's his name now, it used to be BMK, he's been trying out Quinn and Corki. Corki actually just got buffed, so he's kind of viable now. But he's been trying out, like, he kept trying out like different AD carries and not going with the meta. But it's not a really good option because the meta is strong for a reason. It's like the Lucian, Jinx, Sivir, Draven. Those are strong right now because they can do what they're like. They do the most damage. They have the better early games. They have the better team fights. They have the better just like overall damage. So yeah, that's bot lane right now. Jungle. I actually have kind of a good amount of experience in right now because I switch in between mid and jungle for the clutch tournament, and I play a bit in solo queue. Jungle is actually it's weird in my opinion because you don't exactly know what to do in the early game because you can snowball top lane. Top lane snowballs really hard, but it's hard to gank those lanes because they're so tanky, and so they don't take damage, and so they don't die, and so it's a waste in ganking them sometimes. Mid lane, it's all about farming, so you stay safe and stay back and farm, so you can't really get too much out, and so that really only leaves bot lane to gank for, and that's usually the most heavily warded out of them all. So it's hard to be a jungler now. It's hard to get successful games going and like really be effective during any phase. So a lot of junglers have gone to teamfight roles, so like Wukong, Vi, even Kha'Zix now. Those are more like oriented to farm until you guys actually group up and then teamfight. So yeah, that's the current state of it in my mind, and it's very bland. I like how forced it is. I feel like Riot is forcing us to be in the meta that's not exciting, and so yeah, those are my opinions on meta and everything else. Thank you for watching my vlog. That was my spiel vlog. Thanks guys. Feel it,